The Honorable Tony Daunt is with us, the Executive Director of the Michigan Freedom Fund, and he's a member of the Michigan Board of State Canvassers. And first of all, happy Firekeepers Friday to you, sir. Welcome back to the program.
Good morning. Happy Friday to you, and looking forward to a weekend. So thanks again.
Well, I don't want to spoil your weekend, but the Detroit News is saying that, this independent redistricting commission, maybe we should just call it Redistricting Commission, that's been so controversial that we've been talking about for a long, long time now. Apparently they hired a voting rights consultant who has made campaign contributions to Jocelyn Benson, the Democrat Secretary of State. And I thought this was supposed to be people who had nothing to do with politics.
You know, I was aware of this. I just happened to find out late. Today's Friday, so late Wednesday, I think it was. I was able to find out that this gentleman had given money to Jocelyn Benson, that he had a relatively lengthy history of, a kind of left-wing activism and, social media posts that definitely point to the fact that he is left-leaning, if not hard left. And folks in other states who have had his consultants on redistricting, Arizona, for instance, he was a consultant in the 2011, and it was so contentious, so partisan because of the way things were run, specifically related to the attorneys, that they went a completely different way this year in Arizona and had unanimous election to choose a Republican and a Democrat. That both sides, that the Republicans agreed was a Republican, Democrats agreed was a Democrat, and unfortunately, this commission here in Michigan kind of just breezed right past these very bright red flags and hired this gentleman. So it's disappointing.
Well, it undercuts the credibility. I don't know if it was a mistake or what happened, but it definitely undercuts the credibility of what's supposed to be. It's even described as an independent redistricting commission.
Absolutely. And I think, in particular, I think contributions to either party and activism on behalf of either party has been a red flag for this commission in the past, and they've rejected people, rightfully so, Republican and Democrat alike, for their partisan history. And I've applauded them for that. And unfortunately, with this Bruce Adelson, they kind of just breezed right through it. Now, maybe they'll entertain the idea of hiring somebody who is Republican leaning to offset this. If they don't, we'll certainly be paying attention and holding them accountable and holding this gentleman accountable for any kind of advice he gives them. But it's exactly correct. If we want people to have faith that this is truly independent, then this commission can't be hiring people who have given money, whether it's $1 or it's $1,000, to partisans of either party, in particular the Democratic Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, whose office is charged with overseeing this. It just screams of fingers on the scale for one side.
63% of Michigan voters told Marketing Resource Group they support limiting the governor's emergency powers. At some point, does that have to happen?
I think so, and I think what we're seeing is with the last few weeks here is that the poll numbers are what this governor has always been paying attention to when it comes to the so-called science or data. It's only the political science, and that's why she's strongly recommending and urging people to do certain things, or maybe we should think about schools going virtual, or highly recommend, restaurants think about things, whatever her and her administration are doing and saying, but they're not taking action. And that's because they see those poll numbers and they realize, we've lost the plot on this. And so they're not taking action. And it just, again, goes to show that this entire year of her use of unilateral power was based on polls and what she thought she could get away with, not what the science and data were telling her.
Tony Daunt, Executive Director of the Michigan Freedom Fund. The buzz is that there will be another announcement of some sort today from the governor. Do you have any idea what she may be talking about? Could it be more restrictions?
It's always kind of a roll of the dice when we're facing a press conference from this governor. They keep things tight to the vest. They don't share information. Nobody knows what's going to be coming out until the last minute. And that's a terrible way to govern. It's a terrible way to get buy-in from people in this state, whether they be Republicans, Independents, or Democrats, feeling like you're being told you have to do something as opposed to, recommended, here's kind of the best course of action you may want to take. So who knows? I certainly hope there's no more restrictions. We've got millions of people, at least with the first vaccination. We're making our way through. People are still taking precautions. Folks still wearing masks when they go into restaurants and into stores and everything else like that. I think it's time to focus how we get back to normal safely and quit with the restrictions and shutdowns and pauses or whatever we want to call them.
Okay, I'd be interested. There's only 40 seconds left, but the voting legislation in Georgia that has people so riled up essentially comes down to mainly you have to show an ID in order to vote. Am I simplifying it too much? You're
simplifying it, but not too much more broadly than really. I think what we've seen from the Democrats nationally in Georgia and in the state of Michigan related to these voting laws is the most despicable rhetoric, and I think they know they've overstepped and they've overplayed their hand, and that's why they're trying to walk back now.
Tony Daunt, Executive Director of the Michigan Freedom Fund. You can get his Front Lines of Freedom delivered into your email box every Friday. Just go to the Michigan Freedom Fund and listen to this program.